everybody. Welcome to the 183rd episode of Super Joystick Radio, a weekly gathering of friends here to talk about all things video games. My name is Andy Halder, and I'm joined by two of my favorite party members, Jay Schmed.
Lucio May!
And Justin D.
I'm ducking and weaving, baby. I'm ducking and weaving.
Today we'll be discussing banana controllers, new rumors of a Switch Pro, and a company hiring people to consume Doritos, Mountain Dew, and play video games? Sign me up. But first, what have we been playing? Who's taking us off today?
Justin D.
Let's hit this shit. Yeah.
Woo!
So, this morning I got a good chance to boot up the Overwatch, and boy howdy did I truly enjoy getting just to step back into a field where I feel very comfortable playing just that sweet Roadhog, sweet Zarya. I truly appreciate playing those tanks. They are near and dear to my heart. I captured both games on my Twitch, so if you feel inclined and want to spend 30 minutes watching me play some spectacular Overwatch, by all means. I did get some clips here.
Let's cue it up.
Let's cue those clips.
What's this first one?
This one should be Zarya, just melting faces. Yes, and so what she is essentially she takes a lot of punishment. She deals out of a lot of punishment. So as you hit her, her gun gets stronger. She's got a shield that she uses on herself and on other people. So when those people take hits while that shield is active, it's just making her gun stronger. So I just decided to rain terror on the field and took out the soldier, the Mercy, and also the Ana. So I mean, it's taking care of that back line, making sure none of their tanks could stay strong. Then my second one, then the second one I was able to capture was a Hog, and my Roadhog skills staying strong, loving that hook, but even better with the Hog was the whole Hog move and pinning people up against walls and just cutting them down, especially in tight corners.
Gosh.
It's the best. Actually, in that first match as Hog, ended up going 19-0 kill streak.
Dang!
Wow.
Yeah, that was possibly one of my best starts. I ended up finishing that game as 32-7 with gold and elims, and I think silver and damage.
Look at this guy.
Just massacring. And then Zarya went 24-5. The tip with Zarya is the minute you see a Junkrat, that's when you switch to Zarya. Zarya is pretty much an extremely great counter for Junkrat. Just great way to just
hit him with that range laser. Just
dude, she is the laser queen. So
I wanted to ask, do you play any other class, or you just really love the tank? You just really focusing on that section? And
I would say that of last season, I didn't play anything. I didn't play any DPS. I strictly played tank.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, and with the roll system, they made it so much easier. If that's what you want to do, I like that you can check in on that and focus on a certain class and shit. So
yeah, and then I roll with the off tank. I really enjoy not being the frontline guy and kind of hanging out in the back and then mixing it up. So season 26 is coming to an end. It actually got extended for a couple of days through March 9th. So if you're still want to climb those tiers, you can still play. It says it's set to end in a minute for the next couple of days. It's weird, but they were having some kind of technical issue on the back end. So it looks
just like us.
Yeah, right. Season 27 is right around the corner. So that should start here in a couple days. So anyone that's listening, anyone that wants to hit me up, let's get together. Let's play some Overwatch. You can find me on PlayStation Network as Rygar_the_brave. Let's climb those tiers together. I'll be the tank for you. So let's do it.
Game of the year! Awesome.
And then I was just going to wrap up here, obviously, with my chronicling of my adventures in Vana'diel through Final Fantasy XI. We did end up petering out on that experience point campaign, so that unfortunately is done with. But I did take 3.5 classes to level 99, so I feel like that was I got my money's worth, during that time. this week I ended up focusing on leveling my thief, because that's how you make some fucking money. Because I was so broke trying to just buy gear. Like, I looked like I was like begging on the streets. Like, people are like, I've got millions of gear, and I was like, I've got a couple thousand. Like, it's night and day. So like, once I was like, you know what, I'm gonna level up this thief. I'm gonna enjoy crushing it. And then once I had that, then I can start farming some money. I also last Monday here, Monday night, I did another stream here. I know a couple people caught it. At the time, unfortunately, I didn't have the setting on my Twitch where it would archive the stream. But I did my Batman mask. I assume the mantle of the Dark Knight.
That was hilarious, by the way.
Thank you. I was playing the Dark Knight on 11. There will definitely be more videos. It's going to be very episodic. So I did like the first 20 levels just as a test run. So there'll probably be another edition coming out sometime this week. And that one I will archive to make sure that is all good to go. As you're probably looking over at the video that's streaming right now.
I had it streaming and I switched back. I thought you were moving on because you were talking about Batman. But
No, that's all good. No, this is perfect. Because so I'm watching it right now, kind of just to double check. But yeah, so what I also spent a lot of time this week playing with 11 was my summoner. So in 11, unlike in 14, which I had a friend of mine, good old Avatar Lord, who good friend of mine, he captured a lot of video for us here for Final Fantasy 14 summons, which are very different. So based upon the level that you get to as summoner, that's when you get access to these different summons. And so you get Titan, which acts as a tank, and you get Ifrit, and you get Garuda. And you know, those are strong. And then like later on, as you level up, you unlock special summons like a Bahamut and I think a Phoenix at one point. So those are like the newer ones that have gotten added. And he put together a really cool stream of just him crushing it. And it makes me really jealous because I miss 14's graphics. They just are beautiful. But 11, the big difference was you didn't just get summons by the levels. Like the only one you start off with is Carbuncle. It's pretty basic for a summon, but like Ifrit, and this would be the footage that I sent over here. So the Ifrit, the Garuda, the Shiva, the Titan, the Leviathan, Ramu, even Fenrir and Diablos, they all look phenomenal. Like, and the way that you get these is you actually have to go fight them, like these primals.
What?
It is, yeah, it's not an easy experience.
That's cool.
And you have to like literally show up and you have to like kill the god in order to use the god's power and make it your own. So the big, like I said, the big difference, 14's got that splash. It looks so nice and crisp when they're summoned. They're like miniature, like sized down versions of the gods themselves, but it's like a genuine copy in 11. Like the same thing that you fight in 11 as the gods is the same one that you summoned. So like it's so cool. So really enjoyed putting that together. Some of these days here, I'm gonna end up leveling summoner all the way. It's like level 3. I really hadn't spent a whole lot of time, but I wanted to make sure that I got all my summons here before I really spent a lot of time working on it. So those are some videos there that I was able to capture. And again, I want to thank friend Jake there for putting together that one for Final Fantasy 14.
Sweet. Pretty cool.
Yes,
Master of Final Fantasy.
I just love how you have to fight them and then conquer them basically to have them be, submissive to you. And then you can, you domesticate them basically.
Right, yeah, right. Just pee on them. All you're doing is marking your territory.
It's actually that easy.
Yep.
All right, so should we get into Remnant then?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's dive right into that.
All right. Well, actually, before we get into that, I do want to just toss in something that just a tiny accomplishment because the only reason I did it was to get my golf clap. So I did end up defeating the Rip Snorter in Sackboy.
Rip Snorter defeated.
Got the gold on that, which that was my final trophy. So I did get the platinum, baby.
Whoa, yes.
Fucking shining.
Wonderful.
So I just have some video of it on the screen. This is actually me hitting the finish line. Hooray!
What a fucking epic journey, man. I was watching the Twitch streams earlier on in the week, too, and kind of
my
seeing your
God.
progress, and
Yeah,
pretty rad.
I streamed at 2 separate times, both for like an hour ish, and I was making like very minimal progress, and then I finally was just like, I'm gonna take this offline. I have to. And then I still didn't do it, and it took me, nights and nights of playing it, and then finally it just clicked. And if you watch the full video, you can see it on our YouTube channel. Was that S Joystick Radio? But anyways, yeah, it was tough. It was super tough. You'll see me in that video, like narrowly escaping death, like a handful of times towards the end. Yeah, it's like even watching it back, even though I know that I beat it, it like keeps me on my toes. Like, oh my God, don't do that. What are you doing?
It's butt clenching.
That's what they say. Yes.
Yeah.
Some masterful platforming, my friend. So
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah,
Fun to watch.
craziness. All right, let's get to Remnant then. So setup, because we didn't talk about this last week, right? Actually, I'm not sure in the last couple of weeks we've mentioned, have we, the PlayStation Plus games this month for March? Because we haven't done News Bites in a couple of weeks.
Right, because we've been doing
the main topics.
Yeah, the focus on the events for Switch, and then we did PlayStation and BlizzCon.
So let's touch on that real quick then. So the PlayStation Plus games this month for free for March are a slam dunk.
Yeah,
I mean, damn.
Yeah,
it's money this month.
PlayStation's on a roll lately though. Last couple 2-3 months, I feel it's been pretty good.
I don't think there's ever been, and you can go back and check me on this, but I don't think there's ever been a month that was as good as this, in my opinion. So we've got
really?
Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is huge.
Oh, crazy.
We got, what is it? Is it Marquee? I always mess up the name on that. But it's a PS5 game that's like, it's a puzzle game with a miniature version of the larger world. And so like you do things in the big world or the miniature world and they affect each other, which looks really cool. It's not Marquee, but it's something like that. Justin's looking it up, I think. But yeah, so that's cool. And then what? Remnant, which came out last year, but it's like we're going to dig into what that is in just a second. Yeah. And then there's a fourth one too, right? What am I forgetting?
Oh, you're missing Farpoint. It was the VR game.
Oh yeah. And
yeah. They threw a VR in there too.
Yeah,
just
a
PS5,
a PSVR, and then like a first party. Well, actually, no. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Did that end up coming out on Xbox or no? Is that exclusive? I forgot.
I think it's exclusive.
I think it is exclusive, or at least timed, perhaps. But
come to the dark side.
Yeah.
Let's fact check that.
Fact check. We need a soundbite for that.
Right, for sure. Yep, no, it's exclusive. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Okay.
I imagine it'll probably come to PC at some point.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Lose that exclusivity.
Console exclusive. And I wouldn't be surprised if they pop it over onto Xbox at some point as well.
Right, for sure.
All right, cool. Well, let's talk about Remnant then. So I got
and also
gameplay on this too.
One thing I did want to mention too is, if you haven't secured your copy of Destruction All-Stars, make sure you hit that up, because even if you're rocking the PS4, there is a trick on how to get those PS5 games saved to your library in the event that you do ever purchase a 5.
Which we will talk about in the News Bites.
We shall.
Pro tip.
All right, so I got some video of us playing Remnant together, which can also be viewed on YouTube. With full commentary, and it's actually really cool. We got all three of us together, which doesn't usually happen because of schedules, conflicts and things. We're all on voice chat, and we play for like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. It's funny because we need to do another stream, because this one we all went through the tutorial separately at the beginning, and then worked through all of our issues with trying to figure out what the hell we were supposed to do and where we were supposed to go. Do you guys want to speak to that at all with the mini map in the beginning?
For a tutorial, it didn't do a very good job of directing us, I would say.
Yeah, it
at times
it lacked the sort of like go here to this person. Like no one on the map unfortunately had any kind of icon of who they were. So like you'd almost memorize like where they were at, because so getting to know people at the very beginning was really key. And it was a little confusing because there's so many different levels to this base that you're in. And I know me and Schmed got lost in the basement a few different times. We're like, where the fuck are we? Where are these people? And
Yeah, it's
so
set up really weird.
it is. The intro is not. It doesn't play very well. It does introduce you to a lot of the mechanics of the game, and the combat was really fun. But the finding the random NPC that you're supposed to just know is this one blue block or whatever like that on the map, but there's no name on it. It's a little finicky.
Did they even have the name over the person?
No.
Like when you walk up to the person, it doesn't even say their name over their head, right?
No, it's just a square.
No, not on the map though. I'm saying when you physically are standing in front of the NPC, I don't think it even says their name, right?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So that's even funnier. It's like, go talk to this person, but we're not going to tell you who it is.
Right. I think that I want to say that most of the time it just triggered cutscenes, like when you walk through a doorway.
That's true, yeah.
So you didn't really have to talk to them, but like you immediately know who they are after you've triggered that cutscene. Like you never make that mistake again. But man,
let's just tell them too, because this is action role playing, like third person shooter. I don't think we really talked. Have you showed the footage yet? Sorry, I'm not looking at the live stream, but
yeah.
The podcast listeners would be missing out up to this point. They'd be like, "What kind of game is this?" So that's a good reason to jump on our Twitch and watch us record live, or watch it on YouTube later.
Yeah. So the gameplay's fun. I mean, we're just I love that co-op experience of just ripping through the corridors and tearing up these demons and shit. And there's that kind of risk reward kind of thing too. We just got to keep pushing, and we can die at any second. Some of these bosses are pretty tough at the beginning. Like you got to figure out their patterns and things like that before we can, get any farther. I think it was last night we were playing late, and there was a boss we ran into, and I think we died 4 or 5 times before we figured out the pattern and kind of how we were going to figure it out. But
then it was still tough at that, still getting slaughtered.
Well, the checkpoints aren't bad though. They're not, in a good spot. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's not like they're overbearing.
Yeah, I like the fact that it mixes it up between like sort of regular opponents, and they've got their own like little special skills, and then you've got these mini bosses that kind of show up out of nowhere, and they're obviously just tougher kind of combatants. Mm-hmm. But then you've got like these scripted cutscene bosses, like the ones that we ran into last night. That it has this Souls-like kind of quality of the gameplay to it, which is really great. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's like Souls with guns, plus kind of melee combat with like weapons. Like I know Schmed, you've got an axe, and Andy, you had a sword, and I've got a hammer. But the main focus is obviously to work together to bring down these opponents, and it's just a really cool concept. The fact that it was free, also too, just blows my mind. Like it's just a great way to really interact with anyone that's playing, and it's something where you can jump into people's. Jump into their game. So like you can jump into anyone that's random, if you wanted to. So it's pretty cool.
Help out a little bit.
Man, this makes me, watching the video of this just makes me want to go play it. Let's fucking end this show. Let's go. Why are we talking about this? We should be playing it.
Right.
No, it's really, I think it's, sorry, should I go ahead?
Andy.
I was just going to say, I think it's really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's funny because just last week we were talking about what's the game that we had the demo?
Outriders.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's so funny that both of these things were played by us like 1 week after the other, because I just enjoy this way more than Outriders, in my opinion. Both you can't jump in.
I wonder if we all three got into Outriders at the same time, though, if we would have some fun in that.
Maybe. I mean,
we all kind of soloed it for the most part.
That's true.
Which I don't think is the way to play that game. But.
It's certainly not. But I don't know. Something about this just feels better to me. I don't know.
And I can attest that, like, even with this game, because after we got done playing a little bit, I hung around for about 20, 30 minutes more myself. And no, I really enjoyed playing solo in this game. So like,
more solo ability.
Yeah, it has a lot more. It's just more engaging. It's really fun to have some fun with it, and you can mix and match the kind of play style that you want to play. So I went for the character class was Scrapper, and he's kind of the tank guy that mixes it up in close range combat. That's the kind of character that I like to play anyways in most of my video games. So give me a giant hammer and just watch me go to town.
That hammer is awesome.
Yeah, it's solid.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna be shitting on it this week. I'm the inverse of where you were last week in the Outriders. No, I'm having a great time for the most part, and I think it's just gaming with the buddies is like the funnest part for me. But I'm missing, now that I think about it, it's like, where's the loot though? I know it's not technically a looter shooter, but
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't seen one gun on the ground yet. Or
yeah,
like
and me and
a
Justin,
gold pop up or a blue or a rare or something, you know.
Before the show, me and Justin were talking about that, and we're like, we haven't seen any guns or armor drop.
No, I take that back. Actually, there was the one piece of armor that did drop that was like the welding hat. That was the one purple that dropped. That's right. But everything else has been like an accessory. So like we've got like a ring and like a pendant or something like that. But yeah, this isn't like a looter shooter necessarily, where you would hope that you'd get some better gear. Yeah. A lot of it is going to be upgrading through crafting back in town. So you get a lot of resources while you're out in the field exploring and killing shit. And then you're collecting that iron to upgrade that. But you're right. Yeah, it really does miss out on sort of having that like reward kind of feeling. Because even when we fought that boss last night and beat him, like you walk to that chest and you're like, oh, just a bunch of scraps, but nothing.
Yeah, that is
nice
weird.
To get a sword or something. Yep. And it's just maybe a different pace, or like the loot is coming out at a slower drip than I'm used to in some of these newer games. But when you're getting showered with stuff too much, there's always a balance there too. Because I've talked about it in Borderlands where it's almost too much. There's like tons of guns flying out of every character I shoot, so it's just it kind of becomes, I'll just pass it all up just to go to the bigger chests later on in the level. I don't know.
I think Destiny walks a pretty good line with that. I mean, being like a looter shooter kind of thing where you can easily swap out on the fly, but it's not so excessive where everyone's dropping weapons.
And then there's not really a skill tree either. I think there's like a couple stat categories. I kind of miss that bigger, expansive, like more choices in the actual flow of my character and what's going on.
Yeah, there's only 4, right?
Yeah.
There's like stealth. I don't know if are they the same for you guys, because it's like health, stamina, stealth, and teamwork. I think
like teamwork. Yep.
So I didn't have stealth. I had health, stamina, strength, and then teamwork.
Okay.
But I wonder, maybe later on that opens up or something, like after level 5 or something, or we'll get a bigger tree or something. I don't know.
It could, because things did open up as we progressed through the beginning of the game.
Right.
Like there were things like that.
And we were talking too a little bit about the cover system and all that. I was saying I kind of prefer the more Gears of War style thing that Outriders had. Well, I think that was legit the engine in Outriders. The same thing as Gears, but maybe not as smooth or not as perfected or something. But just like this, being able to sprint from cover to cover and kind of weave around between the covers, kind of fun for me. But
we certainly could have used.
It's not like it's clunky or anything in Remnant. I just prefer to be kind of attached to the wall and like scooting around and peeking out from the corners and shit. But
yeah, we certainly could have used some cover last night, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that this game doesn't like have any kind of cover system really is it. Yeah, it does feel more difficult because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just. And then it almost kind of becomes silly then too, because I'm just tapping that X button to dodge out of the way. I was like watching one of you guys play, and it was like you were just like a gymnast rolling around on the ground, like around the world. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this looks silly as shit. But yeah, I know that's what you want to do. Is your defensive tactic is really just to dodge out of the way.
Right.
That's all you got.
Yep.
And it's like we're just dive rolling all over the place. Goofballs.
You do run out of stamina pretty quick though if you do that. I think it's like you get 4 rolls and then boom, you're out of stamina, and so that then immediately you can't run. So you hopefully with those rolls you got yourself to a safe spot, because if not, if that boss like we were fighting last night is chasing you, it doesn't matter how many rolls you do. When he catches you, he's just going to slice and dice. Or if you get to that point where those bombs are going off, which I think was the most frustrating for us, was that bomb mechanic. Because they'd leave that issue or
poisonous gas or whatever.
Yeah, yep, and you'd be infected, and that when you're infected, you can't run or do the roll, so you have to stop, heal yourself, and that puts you as like a huge target.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I guess because as soon as I got poisoned, I was taking those elixirs or whatever.
Yep.
What are those? The little bottles of
medicine?
Was
like snake oil, like potion or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool though. I like the overall theme of the game, and the gunplay feels good too. We were talking about that. I mean, the guns feel feel good to shoot, and the enemies are nice and spongy.
I was digging the headshots and stuff with being the hunter and using a long rifle, sitting back, and sometimes they'd be like really far away too, and I would just I wouldn't get headshots that far away because you can't zoom or anything really, you just aim. But I was hitting them from like super far away and picking them off. It's fun.
Yeah. So Justin, can you explain to me again the classes? Because I feel like from what I was gathering last night, it seems like there's not a huge difference, right? Or do we just have different cooldowns or something?
No, so I mean there is a difference because like your class. Okay, so I'll start with mine. So I was a scrapper, so a lot of the gear for the scrapper is if you're looking at the individual pieces of gear, it actually increased the amount of damage you did in melee and also reduced the amount of damage that you received in melee. As so you were meant to get up in the fray and just go to town with that hammer. But you had a shotgun, you had a pistol in case things got a bit too hairy, and you need to create some separation. So that was the first thing. And then the sort of mod that you get for your gun is it allows you to create like a hot shot. And so it turns one of your guns where the ammo is now flammable, so you can set your enemies essentially on fire. And so that was the native thing that comes with the scavenger.
Okay.
And then for you, Shmed, you were the ex-cultist. So
Mid-range.
You were mid-range, yeah.
Support.
So you had, yep, exactly. And you had the ability to heal was the mod that you had. And with your gear, I want to say that it improved. Oh goodness, I think it was like if your enemy, or sorry, if your team was in your healing thing, based upon the amount of armor you had, it increased your like crit rate or like helped with like defense or something like that. Like so, there was something that
adjusts the duration too of my heal.
Yeah,
it lasts longer on the floor or something.
Yep. And then for Andy, he played the hunter, and so more long range there at that point. And his mod to start off with was increased his critical range. And so when he was back there and he popped that mod off, like any of his headshots were just pretty much just splatter shots, bro.
Mm-hmm. So then you were saying too, it sounds like it's pretty flexible though. So this is really just like your starting equipment and class, but then you can always just pop those in and out and switch mods. And like, let's say if I wanted to be a tank now, I could do that if I wanted to. Just put the right gear in, and now I'm a tank kind of thing, right?
You do have to buy that, but cool. I mean, it's cool that it's like unlike Destiny, where if you wanted to play your warlock versus a hunter, or a guardian, you had to make an individual character and start from ground, exactly, and collect all the new guns and everything else. Like there wasn't like a shared system. While with this, you could immediately swap out depending on what the situation called for. So maybe you need 2 tanks to tackle a boss, and you need 1 healer and not a long range person, and maybe that's how you beat the circumstance. And so you can kind of game it that way, or let's say you're not you're playing solo by yourself, and you kind of need a little bit of survivability from the tank, and you need a little bit of the healing from the ex-cultist. You can blend it together to kind of make a hybrid. You're not going to be as strong as if you were a true purist and you played one way or the other, but it's definitely a way to allow this to be playable by everybody.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of skill tree or something later on that unlocks to like
no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that'd be nice. But I think you're onto something, Justin. I think they're trying to hit that sweet spot. I think some of these games are a little daunting for like the average gamer who wants to just get in there and shoot some stuff. And I think this is one of those games they kind of might have stripped back a little too much of what the mechanics of what the core gamers want to play and want to feel like. Because I know the mod system's kind of cool. It's very easy to figure out, and it's like you're just slotting in things to your weapons, and
right.
There's not a whole lot. I mean, we're not getting a ton of gear, so it's not like daunting of what gear to
what's better,
we're not like making these huge choices, if it's good or bad, and you move on. You probably might not see a new piece of gear for an hour or two. So
well, I think we should
definitely doing some good things. It's fun.
I think we should definitely keep playing it and report
it's free.
Back for free,
right.
And definitely report back later.
I do have to just point out here, I did just do a quick fact check on the back end. It does not look like it's slotted for a PS5 upgrade as of right now. So there's no patch in the work. I know, super want, but
Hey, that's fine. As long as it still plays on PS5. So
oh my God.
It looks fine. It's not great, but it's fine.
Hey, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. And who knows if we'll be playing this. I mean, it's, in the future, but it is cool. We'll have to see if it has the staying power. There's a lot of games out there. It's, tough competition, but we will keep giving it a try and report back later.
Yeah, we'll see if it's got some sea legs.
Sea legs. All right, let's keep things moving with News Bites.
Oh, yeah!
Yum, 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 yum.
Bold flavors.
Delicious.
Big news for the VR fans out there. Sony announcing 6 PlayStation VR games, including Doom 3 for VR.
Yeah.
It's happening.
This is from TheVerge.com.
Yep.
So yeah, Doom 3, boys. I don't know. Is this gonna make us sick or?
Yes. But there's something else that ties into this. So, clearly that all these new games are coming, or more games are coming for the existing PlayStation VR. But we also, since we haven't been done News Bites in the last couple of weeks, didn't mention that it was announced officially on the PlayStation blog that they are working on, which is not really a surprise, the next generation of PlayStation VR. Which is exciting.
Yeah, buddy.
So, I mean, I guess it could be surprising. It's a good thing to know because, one might think maybe PlayStation VR didn't do that well, so they're not going to make it, another one. So they did confirm that they're doing that, and then seeing that they're coming out, they still have games on the docket that are, scheduled for release is exciting. So, yeah, good for VR.
Keep it alive.
And then the next VR headset sounds like, they did confirm a couple of things, that it's going to be higher resolution, higher frame rate, one cable to the PlayStation instead of 80.
That's good.
New controllers, which is cool. So we're not going to be using those 15-year-old or whatever Move controllers anymore.
Those wands are terrible.
And and then there's one other thing, which I don't know if it made it to the News Bites. Actually, no, that's something else. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, it's all good news for PlayStation VR.
Yeah, it's solid. I'm actually really excited, especially if they can bring that frame rate up, because I get motion sickness. I got the VR when it first came out for the PlayStation. I thought this is next level, and I was so stoked, and I bought that with the Skyrim VR experience. And dude, I was ready to vomit in 5 minutes. It's because you look down a spiraling staircase, and you're just I don't feel good about going down. It tricks your body or tricks your mind into thinking that you're really going down. But when you're sitting down and playing this, your body knows one thing, your mind is telling you a different thing, and you it can make you have vertigo. I was not having a good time. So
is that the thing then? If they boost the frame rate, that's supposed to alleviate some of the motion.
That's a big part
shit.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Especially, because I remember doing the luge part of that 5 games that they had, those experience of VR. That one was also super
Sorry, just made me think of that Dr. Evil line. Summers in Rangoon, luge lessons.
Luge lessons.
What else we got here though coming for the PSVR after the fall?
Yeah, it's a sequel to
cool.
Arizona Sunshine. It's a VR shooter zombie game. So
I always wanted to play that one.
Yep.
Arizona Sunshine.
You know what I'd really love to see is another Back to Blood or whatever it is, or it was a carnival ride by the makers of that horror game from 2013. PlayStation 1, they're all in a cabin.
PlayStation 1.
Or not PlayStation 1, I'm sorry. It's a PlayStation game.
Oh,
Gone Home? No,
not Gone Home. It's it's on the tip of my tongue.
I know what you're talking about. They're all in a cabin.
Yes,
I played it too.
It's so good. And
there's multiple paths.
Until
Dawn? Before Dawn?
Until Dawn?
Until Dawn.
Ding, ding, ding.
There we go. Ding, ding, ding.
SJR knows things about games. Hey, we can't be expected to remember everything about everything.
So. Right. But that game, they had a VR version of that game where you were at a carnival and it was on rails. I think we played it at your place, Andy. Yeah, it's so good. It's so much fun. And I like the ones that are on rails.
Yeah, Rush to Blood. That's what it's called.
Yep.
Until Dawn, Rush to Blood. That's the carnival game where you're on rails, and then you go through, and all this scary stuff happens. That was one of the games I would always show people as an example of VR. Oh, you gotta check this out. It's creepy.
Oh, it's great. I mean, that one was one that didn't make me sick because it was on the rails, so you don't have to move. You're just looking around. And I think if this can kind of follow that same kind of pattern, I didn't play Arizona Sunshine, but if after the fall, I mean, if it was so successful they made a sequel, I got to imagine that it's
Just got to get that like light gun attachment, you know. You got that realistic gunplay,
right? Well, I Expect You to Die 2, which is a sequel.
Is this that bomb defusing game we played, Andy?
No,
this is different.
Oh, okay.
That's Keep Quiet or Everybody Explodes or something like that.
That was a great game.
That's a great game.
Yeah, they have that on Switch too, by the way.
But
where the person holds the switch or whatever like that, and only they can see the bomb, and then you have to play with your phone, and you got to like tell them what to do.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That was cool when we were playing it for PSVR. I had because there's instructions on a website, like, so you have to like read the instructions and then ask the person who's looking at the bomb, okay, is there a red wire and a blue wire or a yellow wire or this or that? And then they have to relay to you since you can't see the bomb, but then you have the manual and you say, okay, well, it's got 6 wires, but then they're these colors. So you have to go to a certain section of the manual. And the cool thing, what I did was I brought up the manual on my laptop and then I Chromecast it to the TV. So everybody, like whoever had the bomb had the VR headset on, and then everybody else, like we had like 4 people sitting in the living room, like reading the manual on the TV with like big text and stuff, just going through it like, oh here, it says this. It's pretty fun.
That's great.
But anyways, that's not this game.
This is an escape room puzzle game, so that's actually pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, a VR like escape room, it like makes sense. Like it's a video game that really makes sense, you know. And the fact that it's a sequel again must mean that the first one was wildly successful. So,
and then we've got Fracked, a hybrid shooter.
So weird
sports game.
I was watching the trailer for it. It's literally people like ziplining like through the mountains and like in the forest and like skiing and like in like a giant like free for all shooting match. It's bizarre, and it's so crazy that this is even coming to a VR con. It sounds like so out there. I have no idea how this would even be a thing.
Do a little fact jack.
Yeah. But yeah,
just trying to get some screens on it.
Yeah, for sure. It's wild, bro.
Actually, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like an action movie or something.
Exactly.
I always thought I thought it looked kind of like Bond, which I think is probably the name's a nod to that.
Right. No, I think it's about fracking.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still talking about I Expect You to Die too.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No,
my bad.
Fracking is no, it's all good.
I was working on the show in the background, and I just get lost sometimes. I got to pay attention to what you guys are saying.
It's all good, but with Fracked, it's like I guess it's like takes place at like this compound, like an oil refinery, and so like there's not a definitive answer on whether or not your player or the people that you're fighting are pro frack or anti frack. So that'll be fun. But if you're looking for a more toned down version of nature, Song in the Smoke is it looks pretty cool. It's a survival VR game. The focus is on hunting, so there's some archery with there, crafting and exploration. The screenshots on it are beautiful. Like I think this would be a great game just to kind of like blaze and play, because this one is just really chill. Like it's relaxing. You're not having to fight anybody. And it's just, have some fun. It's like what you can imagine Ark without the crazy dinosaurs.
Oh, I like the crazy dinosaurs.
Well, this one's a little bit more chill then.
You should say back. You should have said, well, then play Ark.
Yeah, right.
This is a modern survival game. You're just out in the woods with a pocket knife.
Yep, pretty much.
Sounds dangerous.
Yes. The final one, though, was Zenith, which was actually crowdfunded. This is actually an MMO anime-style RPG fast-paced action game set in a fantasy sci-fi world. So it looks crazy cool. Like it's very like stylistic. And so this one's also coming out in 2021. So this, I guess, was like crowdsourced last year, and then Sony helped bump it up too. And so this game could like have some really big some legs to stand on for an MMO type of game. So check out the trailer for that. Like I said, all that you can find that on The Verge if you just type in VR, PSVR, 6 new games. You'll find that.
It's pretty huge that they've been able to lock down some exclusive VR titles too. I mean, that's the real catch here. I think they had that Iron Man game, didn't they? I don't think it did great, but
I think it did all right. It's still expensive.
VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was kind of mixed review. Like some parts were really smooth and then others were kind of janky, but who knows? Maybe they smoothed that out with some patching and shit. But
right.
There was a couple other titles too that I think caught on and people were digging it. Oh, Tetris Effect was really cool too.
That's not
Tetris Effect is great.
Exclusive though, right?
It was timed, I think, for the first year or something. Then it came out on other shit. But
I believe Moss though, it's the mouse one where you play the mouse knight. That one is exclusive.
I always wanted to play that.
And that's very cool.
Some good experiences to be had there.
Yeah, and just if you get a PlayStation 5 and you get the new headset, you probably be running a lot better. I might even dip back into it if VR starts to pick up a little bit more.
I have to just suck it up and hook my PSVR back up. I do have the adapter and everything for the PS5, so I can do it. But I think this is kind of scooting under the radar because I haven't heard a ton about it. But supposedly all PSVR games are better on the PS5, and some of them even have specific enhancements. But you're gonna see like better frame rates, better
that's cool.
higher resolutions and stuff like that, just with the base, PSVR. So I gotta plug that in and check it out. It's just hard with two little girls.
All right, report back to us one of these nights.
Yes,
dad life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just like that, man. It like rejuvenates your entire back catalog of VR titles and shit. It's awesome.
Oh, plus I got some now for free from PS Plus. So
for free.
Hell yeah.
For free. All right.
So
speaking
we got here,
of
Justin?
PlayStation Plus, Justin, you touched on this earlier. You can claim PlayStation Plus monthly PS5 games before you get a PS5, and I would classify this as a.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. How do you do this?
So this was so if you're on your native PlayStation 4, when you go to your games with gold, or not games with gold, I'm sorry, when you go to your games for the month, you'll only see what's available to PlayStation 4. You won't be able to see what's on the PlayStation 5. So like Destruction All Stars isn't listed there, and the new game, I forget the name of it. What was it again, Andy?
Which game?
Like the Magenta or whatever it is that the
one I can never remember the name of, and you just asked me the name. Did you even look it up earlier? I thought you were looking it up. I thought you were looking it up when I was trying to remember what it was.
Oh no, I apologize. Where is that?
That's okay. Anyways, it's a PS5 game. That's the puzzle game. And
yes.
Is it Maquette or something? Maquette?
Something like that.
Maquette, maybe.
Maquette.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, it looks awesome. I'm gonna be talking about that in a couple of weeks because that was already on my radar, and I'm really excited to play it. I love puzzle games, especially when there's some kind of weird thing going on in the world, like Witness. If you haven't played The Witness
is great. Stop
listening to us right now and go play that because that's a lot more enjoyable.
I disagree. I like your face.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. But anyways, so if you're on the native 4, you can't unfortunately see what's available on the 5, which makes sense. However, that PlayStation app actually can be your friend. However, sometimes it's not, especially when trying to locate where the goddamn games are for free.
Hold on, wait. Hold that thought. I don't have a sound bite, but we will make one. But we have a new segment that we want to. It's going to be short, called SJR Soapbox, where we're going to talk about something that's really fucking stupid and annoying.
Get down from that box over there, buddy.
It's more of a therapy session for us to just get it out.
Vent it.
Just get that anger out.
Okay, so this week's is, why the fuck is it so hard to find PS Plus games on the PS mobile app?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's
pretty crazy.
I was looking for Remnant because I didn't have access to my TV, and we were talking about playing it all together. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'll just go into the PlayStation app and queue it up for download. It'll be ready to go. I don't have to boot up my PlayStation or anything. So I go and I try to look for it in the store. I can't find the PlayStation Plus games listed anywhere in the app. So I'm like, all right, I'll search for it. So this part's my bad. But I went to go search for I thought it was Remnant. So I kept spelling it wrong. So nothing was coming up for the game. I'm like, what the fuck? How do I find this game? And then it turns out there's a collections section in the PS store, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom of that, and then there's a fucking arrow that's like more. You're like, yes, and you click that, and then that's where PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now collections are. So, but then it gets better. But then you click on it, and it opens up a web browser inside of the PlayStation app and takes you to the website. And then you have to re-log in. And then it even asked me for a fucking verification code. So I had to, switch over to my text message, get the verification code, then go back and put that in. And then finally I could do this. I'm like, why didn't I just go to the website?
And you have to do
phone?
it for every game.
Yeah, well, I only needed
that's
to
how
do
it is on mine.
Oh, really? I only had to do it for
in.
Remnant because I had already downloaded the others, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what happened with you?
I'm probably going to actually just salt the wound, but it's actually much easier than I thought it was. So if you go to the PS Store, which is if you pull up the app, the third icon over, the one that's directly in the middle, is the PS Store, and then it loads up the latest one. So like when you're on the PS Store and you click it, it naturally loads up the latest. But that category, those tabs, you can tab over, and there's subscription right there.
That won't
and then you
have it.
scroll down. You if you have this app, you have this. If you scroll down under subscription,
what the hell?
Boom,
it's right
that's
there.
How you yeah, it's right there, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
all those
Every
games
time you click a game and hit add to library and then confirm to install and all that, I had to put my password in each time. But maybe it's my privacy settings because I know I had to change something to where if I'm making a purchase on the store, you have to put the password. As I was afraid Gray was going to buy some shit on like Fortnite, some V-Bucks, like $50.
Yeah, you're in debt like thousands of dollars. Well, now I feel like an idiot. So we need like an anti-soapbox.
Get off your soapbox, buddy.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm just dumb, I guess.
No, you're not.
Tell me about this banana controller.
Wait, hold on. I haven't finished how you can add the games.
Yeah, you need to know how to add the games.
On the
Sorry,
app.
I thought we already did.
No, it's all good. So on the app, when you're scrolling through the subscriptions, you can add those PlayStation 5 games. So like I was able to even secure Destruction All-Stars and Marquette or Marquette or whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like Marquette.
Marquette. I don't know. We're probably like butchering it. It's probably like
Parakeet.
No, I think it's Maquette. I thought I remember that from the stream, but I don't know.
Excellent. So, but you can go ahead and get any current game that's on the PlayStation 5, but it's not going to show up in your library in your game. So, like, I have Destruction All Stars in my library on my app. What I don't, when I pull up my PlayStation 4 library though, on my actual PlayStation 4, it doesn't show me that I have it because it's not compatible with PlayStation 4, so it's not going to show me that.
Right.
So. Yeah, just make sure that you add it to your app on the PlayStation, on the PlayStation side of things. Download the app, get the games. If you don't have a PlayStation 4, because when you finally pick one up, you'll have a slew of games depending on how many they release over the next few months before you're able to pick it up. So
should be at least one a month, by the way. I think they said, yeah.
So this way, when you're ready to finally make that next step and spend the $600 that it is for the the game, for the console plus, if you want a game or whatever else, you'll have an extra few other games that are PlayStation 5 exclusives. So
build that library, baby. All right, Schmed, you like bananas?
Love bananas.
Me too. Would you ever want to use one as a controller?
No, I'm good.
I'd try it. I would try it. All right, so there's Sony patents a way of turning bananas, mugs, and more into PlayStation controllers. So this is pretty wild, you guys. We're living in the future for sure. So basically what the patent is for is so that they can superimpose buttons, like PlayStation buttons, onto a non-luminous object. So anything you can think of like that you could pick up that's not, that doesn't have a luminous property, like a banana or other piece of fruit or a mug or whatever. It's apparently they say, or they allude to, that the user would be wearing some kind of headset with like a transparent screen, kind of like an augmented reality thing.
That's
and
awesome.
What they would do is project the buttons onto the object, and then use tracking to monitor your fingers and button presses and the position of the controller and everything. So they're even talking about, like, you could have two oranges. I don't know why they use oranges as an example, but you could have two oranges and hold them like this and then use it as a steering wheel.
Huh.
Which I don't know why you'd really do that, but it's kind of funny. But, you know,
I mean, I guess you could set up like real life VR experiences with that.
that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of possibility for just doing really cool stuff besides turning a banana into a controller.
Well, I could see like a arcade company or like some businesses opening up like a VR experience and just turning real world objects into, you know, playable
Inputs,
things.
basically. Yeah, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
That's what's cool
Like,
about it.
Pick up the orange. You're like,
Well, or like a quick time event like that you see in a game where it's like hit X a bunch of times. They could have something if it's augmented reality, which they haven't mentioned getting into that technology space. So I'm not sure if that means VR is going to be some kind of mixed reality headset, because that would be cool. But imagine this, it's like, you know, spam the X button. Instead of that, it's like it puts an X button on some object within your room and you have to go over to it and be like this or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. I'd do it.
yeah, endless possibilities.
So I don't know. Interesting possibilities, and yeah, we'll have to see what they do with it. But it's kind of cool, kind of interesting.
I like the idea that, like, if you kind of apply that same theory, I mean, you could make games that, you know, like you can essentially have 100 people playing Fortnite in the same like area, like by using this augmented reality where you're not having to. If you're all using the same system, essentially you could have you know, 1 versus 100 kind of game type, you know, with using like different objects or whatever.
What? I'm kind of not following you. You mean like in the same, like?
So if you have 100 bananas,
Yeah.
and you
who has 100
everyone's-
bananas?
I'm just saying, go to a grocery store. There's 100 bananas there, okay? All right. So imagine that you have 100 bananas and you've got 100 people and they all have this same augmented reality. You all could be playing like a game that like has 100 plus people playing that same game all at once, which, you know, is much different. Like if you brought them all together, like a true gaming experience. Like think of a convention kind of thing where you could put up like, it's not like a party where you could have like 8 people playing on, you know, a Jack in the Box. It's 100 people playing, you know, in a Jack in the Box.
On bananas.
On
They don't
bananas.
have to have
Like,
headsets,
it's crazy.
though, right?
True. The augmented one, yeah.
You
But
never,
I'm just saying, like, it's cool.
you never fail.
Dream with me.
You never fail me on giving me the episode title during the main topic. So this week's is going to be 100 bananas.
Nice.
All right, let's keep it moving here. This is exciting. Possibly another new report or rumors are out there circulating that Nintendo Switch with a 7-inch OLED screen is coming this year. So this has not been officially confirmed by Nintendo, of course. They're not going to do this.
No.
There's just to tie into the next story also, it's also rumored that this Nintendo Switch Pro, if you will have exclusives, and the insider who reported this to Nintendo Life said that they know of one in particular that they can confirm is going to be exclusive for the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too. So back to the Switch Pro. What do you guys think about this? Are you gonna replace your existing Switch?
Yes, that's not even a question.
Hell yeah.
Hell
We
yeah.
both said yes exactly at the same time. Yeah, I mean, give me the fresh visuals, man, and the better loading times. It's the
I was a battery.
PS5
That's
thing
what I
right now
want.
too. There could be 0 games coming out for it. I still want it because it's going to make the back catalog better.
The battery, Justin, could stay the same or even get worse potentially because
That's true.
it could be at a
No,
higher
they
resolution.
said that they were. Well, they said they were going to put in the newer battery that they've converted the Switches to, like the Lite and the new Switch. Like they all have the upgraded battery because they were able to cut down on the card or whatever like that. So like those original Switches have the shittier like lifespan, and then when they refreshed it all here, they gave those ones the same kind of battery type that the Switch Lite does. So I would imagine that based upon that article that I read, it also not only will be upgraded fidelity wise and you'll have a stronger processor, but the battery will be also upgraded, so it should theoretically run longer than
you're
than
right.
what the
You're
native
right.
Switch is.
And the OLED, I think, takes, if I'm right here, I'm not sure, but I think that takes less power than the LCD screen. if I'm right. I might be wrong. But then also, I heard it's still supposed to run at 720p in handheld, right?
Right.
But when it's docked, it supposedly will be able to do 4K, which is very exciting.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine a 4K Breath of the Wild?
No, I want that.
I know, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. The one thing I will say about
4K,
right?
Ding.
Love that shit.
The one thing I will say about that, kind of the sort of the next story that we had here was about the exclusivities for the Nintendo Switch Pro. I am excited. I definitely want to purchase if this Switch does really come out here. If it's a Switch Pro and it comes out, then it'll be one that I do want to get right away. However, the negative is obviously all those people that spent the last year in quarantine that bought a new Nintendo Switch or bought the Lite or whatever like that. To have a new Switch that's coming out that they won't be able to play these games on, because it'll be exclusive. It'd be like essentially like if I had a PlayStation 4 and Andy, I know you had a PlayStation 4 Pro, if they came out with a game for the Pro and excluded the people that had the 4, it'd kind of be like a, shot to the nuts.
You're segmenting the market. Yeah, it's never a good idea, and it makes things messy. I mean, we've seen it before. Nintendo has done it before with the 3DS, and then they came out with the 3DS Plus or whatever the fuck it was called. It was a bigger version, but it was more powerful. And then they had game. Well, maybe it wasn't. Was it 3DS or maybe it was just DS? Yeah, they did something like that with. Anyways, they had like a game that you could only play if you had the newer version, and that's just like, I don't know. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's silly.
So I don't like it. Hopefully, I don't know. Well, I guess it says that someone can confirm that there's at least one. So
right.
But I don't know. I guess
for
me it doesn't really matter, but it does hurt those other people, and that sucks. And it also muddies the console, generation line, which I think is bad because then you have developers who are working on one or the other, or they're making a game that has to be optimized for both. That's where I think you take the biggest hit, which we've obviously seen with Cyberpunk, where they were making it for 4, but then they focused on making it better for the 5, and then it sucked for the 4, and we all saw how that ended up.
Yeah, we don't want another Cyberpunk. Speaking of Cyberpunk, I'll just cut to it.
Nice.
Cyberpunk got cyber hacked and held for cyber money.
That
shit is real. Yeah, crazy. Cyber money. So they were having a major update that was actually supposed to come out I think this week, but it got super delayed because right now they don't have access to their systems. They have been hacked, and their system and everything is being held sort of at ransom, and they refuse to pay the ransom to get it all back.
They probably tried to pay in dildos.
Probably. Give me that dildo money.
And if for anyone that doesn't catch that reference, there's crap tons of dildos in Cyberpunk 2077, like to a fault. Like it doesn't even make sense why there's so many.
Exorbitant amount.
Yes, for sure. Well,
Someone
that's crazy.
Like, I'm gonna build a dildo slider and I'm gonna crank that shit to 11.
Well, how silly is that? But I guess it does tell you that they're not impervious to these types of attacks, and in fact, I'd argue that maybe they're more targeted because of the technology, and hey, it's funny, we hacked the hackers.
Yeah, right. And what's even crazier is that it comes on the heels of PlayStation's director. He came out and pretty much just shat all over Cyberpunk. Because he I don't think he actually specifically called out the game, but he pretty much ripped the game without saying it, a new one, by saying we're not going to put out games that suffer in quality and and that are super glitchy and everything else. So he was like, Sony is going to be strong here, even with the COVID thing. Some other companies may feel like it's in their best interest to rush things. Was pretty much the version he was given. But our favorite friend, the guy that's making the It Takes Two game, the wild and crazy guy that knows no boundaries. He actually was sticking up for Cyberpunk. Just said they got the everyone just said his shit on it, and because the expectation was so high, they shit on it even more. So he's like, if it was a game that like nobody was expecting or wasn't as hyped up as it was, it probably would have gone down as a bad game, but like it wouldn't have been like the laughing stock as it is.
Yeah,
when it
But
first came
in
out.
fairness, they hyped it up. They didn't,
Right.
they didn't. It's not like they were trying to go under the radar. They were leaning into that press and trying to use that to make the game as big as possible. So
It was on
a
a pedestal for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, people unfortunately people like to see people who are ambitious fail, and that is we knew from day one when they were talking about that game how ambitious that was, like the things that they were describing, and we're like, it's gonna be awesome if they can pull it off. And honestly, they did. You just have to have a high-end PC or a PS5 to really enjoy it. And hopefully they'll fix that someday. But that was a rocky launch.
Yeah, once they get their system back. But it looks like that delay is coming out. Like they said that they should still be able to get that delay out here by the end of this month, but it obviously got delayed by 2-3 weeks. So
Cripes. All right, so we bounced around a little bit here, so we got rid of that last story. So now we are on Aliens.
Yeah,
Schmet?
there's new Aliens in the work.
Or Justin?
Yeah, new Aliens in the work here. I've always been a fan of the series, so love seeing that they're hopefully it's going to get a proper treatment, as well as this is comes from Sci-Fi. They came out with some what to look forward in gaming, so I was like, okay, cool, I'll tune in for that. And there's also an open world Dungeons and Dragons that's being developed, so it's kind of like it takes the style of Breath of the Wild kind of openness, where there's really no you can go wherever you want to and experience all these different story beats without having to just be held into the main story, which is really cool. So it's something that like every nerd for the last 50 years that's ever played Dungeons and Dragons since the early 70s has been like living, but through paper and pen. And so this will be the first true experience if they can really lock it down, where it'll be a full open world realm where you can explore everything. So I know some job listings for that just went up here with the company that's making it. So we'll see what comes of it. I don't imagine that's coming out for probably 3 years. That's my guess. I'm on 2024.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty safe.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's still that sounds
cool.
Awesome though. Give it to me.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah. Anything aliens.
Right.
All right,
cool.
Schmed, this is your soapbox. I feel like.
Yeah,
I know Justin feels the same way, and you.
Yeah.
I just want I want to hear
we all
Schmed
do.
Yell about it for a second.
Yeah, we're talking about the Illinois rep who wants to ban all violent video games.
Boo!
Yeah, this is from Polygon. Yeah, Illinois House Rep Marcus Evans seeking to ban violent games to all. And yeah, like you said, Justin, there's already a law that bans purchase of mature games to minors under 17. What else do we need here? I mean, are you going to get rid of all the books, all the movies, and everything that has violence in the world? I mean,
yeah,
it's ridiculous, man.
How about Rob Zombie movies? Those are pretty violent.
Yeah.
And disturbing.
Yeah. I was gonna say with this, I was like, this is the most outlandish thing. He's never played Grand Theft Auto 5, but he's targeting it because there's been an increase in carjacking that he claims is coming from this game, even though he's never played it. And I was like, that's the most asinine thing I've ever heard anyone say. I'm blaming this game because there's carjacking, but I've never played the game, so I really can't base it on anything. What? And it's to everybody. It's adults too. Like he wants to get rid of it. So we could, if this is only in Illinois though. So when I looked it up, he's only part of the Illinois House Representative. He's not like an actual House representative, like, part of Congress. He's part of the Illinois Congress.
That's good.
Hopefully this gets shot down real quick.
What would this really do? So if you take away GTA and you think that carjackings are going to go down, you think murder is going to go down? Like if these people were at home playing GTA instead of going out and murdering people and carjacking, then we wouldn't have that problem. So to me, it's an outlet where you can have fun and do that kind of thing. Like I don't want to carjack somebody in real life. I don't want to kill anybody. But it's like an outlet to kind of do those things in a way that doesn't hurt anyone.
Right. And also, like, it's not just GTA. He took issue with GTA, but it's not that. It's any mature game, any game that like promotes violence, things that shouldn't be done in real life. Like I was like, what kind of game are you wanting to like just show? Like, are we doing just sports? Like touch football? Like what are we playing here at this point? Like
you can't put rules on fiction, man.
Right.
Yeah. Well, call me
on
once.
everything.
Call me once
Movies,
you've
games,
ended war
books.
and all violent crime that actually exists in the world, because you can't. It's not. You're never going to do it. So
it's absolutely.
Yeah.
Got some people popping off in the chat right now, and Tyler, you're absolutely right. It is like Fahrenheit 451 with video games. It's crazy. Like people, and this isn't the first time that video games have been targeted for saying that it's ultra violent, or like I mean, we had the initial ESRB starting because of Mortal Kombat and the blood
Doom,
and the violence there.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
So I mean, like with that being said, I mean, there's always going to be
Trench coat
people
mafia,
right? But there's so many studies out there that show that. That video game violence and movie violence and all that stuff, it doesn't create that. It doesn't,
Nope. It's
like
because of Doom,
and millions
Justin.
of people. Right, I know. And Doom is the reason that we have
the made up demons on the video screen that caused you to do this.
It's Mortal Kombat.
Oh my God.
Anyways, we can and have, I think, had this conversation
ranted
before
for hours about it. Yeah.
So I don't want to go down the rabbit hole any longer, but fuck you, Illinois. And just a disclaimer, we're from Illinois, so
right.
we can say
worse
that.
and worse over here.
Some of us might have accidentally put this guy in his position, so let's make sure next time we take him out of the position.
True.
All right.
E3 going digital again. They just announced it here, I think, last week. It is a bummer, but it just gives a chance for them to step up in a more digital platform. I know IGN kind of took the brunt of that last year.
Yeah.
Trying to get like a lot of information out there, try to schedule things. So I'd be excited to see if E3 takes a bigger hit on that rather than holding back.
Yeah, I think that IGN at some point, if this continues, is going to just take that show over, and it'll be like the IGN Summer of Games or something like that.
Yep.
It was cool last year, but the only thing I didn't like is that it seemed like it took place over too long of a period. Because they had, I remember we were doing coverage on that, and it was difficult because we used to be able to just do,
couple
one show.
Yeah. Well, no, we would do, and maybe like 2 shows, because we would do
part 1, part 2 kind of thing.
Right. But this was like a month or something like that, where we're
just like 4 weeks of just like everyone had like different spots like lined up or whatever, and
but
it was
content,
like all of June.
It wasn't concentrated, so because of that being spread out, it just wasn't as interesting. It wasn't as exciting, I didn't think, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I think IGN, it makes sense if IGN would take the reins on this and just kind of like take over the show. They pretty much did, because I don't think E3 had much of a platform besides IGN doing the Summer of Games thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully there'll be some good information that comes out of it this year, and it'll be condensed or something.
Yeah, I want those world premieres, baby.
Yep.
Gotta have them. Oh, but then there's
Phantasy
the other
Star
thing.
3 coming to PlayStation 5.
And then you got the other thing where, prior to the pandemic and everything, Nintendo and PlayStation were already doing mostly digital streams.
Yeah, and the PlayStation pulled out January of last year before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, and they weren't going to have a conference anyways.
Yep.
So yeah, it's maybe more companies are going to do that. I know. What's one of our favorite indie companies? Like
Devolver Digital.
Yeah, Devolver Digital. They always do like a really cool digital stream these last couple of years. So looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
My favorite time of year to do this podcast, by the way, because it's just fun. There's so much to talk about and so much to be excited for. That and console launches. Those are the best.
Yep. Schmidt, take this last one, buddy. This is a great feel-good way to end the news bites, bro.
What do we got here?
For all you Canadian listeners.
Yeah, we got a job for you here. It's from Nar City. Is that what's this?
Shredding the Nar.
The company will pay you 250. What is that? What currency, Justin? I don't.
It's probably Canadian dollars.
Euros. Euros. Okay.
No.
To eat Doritos, drink Mountain Dew, and play video games, and open up loot crates and other things. Really?
Is it?
I'm signing up right now, and I'm moving to Canada. All right.
It doesn't say the frequency in which you get paid, though. Is it just once?
It's a one-time gig. It's but they're gonna ship you out some Doritos, some Mountain Dew, and send you a few video games. But
That's
it's
awesome.
literally like the sweetest gig next to like mattress testing. So, This is the bee's knees. So if anyone out there listening to us right now or on Monday when this shit goes live, check it out. You have till March 11th to submit your application of why you would be the best Canadian to listen or to review this stuff and enjoy the gamer's life.
There you go. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for you guys this week. Remember, Super Joystick Radio is a weekly show, so please subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast application. iTunes. $1. Oh, sorry. Become a patron. $1. Become a patron at patreon.com/superjoystickradio. $1 gets you early access to the show, the audio version of the show, that is. $3 gets you exclusive access to the show notes. Also, access to the SJR Banter Archive, where we have a bunch of stuff that's cut from before, during, and after past shows. And there's a ton of content on there that you can listen to right now. $5 gets you all the previous perks, plus a Discord badge for our Discord server, which you should definitely join. And you also get a mention on the show. Right now, $5 shout-outs to our $5 patrons. Phil Lynch, Joe Halder, Rob Bilchunas, Nick, last name not specified, Caitlin, Chrissy, Justin D.,
That's me!
Maddie Deeves, and Jay Schmed. All tiers also get discounts in the merch store, where you can buy things like SJR, SJR banana bunches.
Oh, nice. I need some potassium in my diet. Some
Mandarin
SJRs.
oranges.
Oh, nice. Vitamin C.
Oh, SJR vitamin C?
Yeah.
Pills?
Well,
Capsules?
yes.
With our little
We're in the
faces?
drug trade now. Yep.
There you go. All right.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter at SJoystickRadio. Follow us on Instagram at SuperJoystickRadio. Subscribe on YouTube for Let's Plays and streams. And sub to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SuperJoystickRadio. Right now, we are, for the foreseeable future, going to be streaming the recording of the show live on Twitch.
Yeah.
And then we're going to bump that to YouTube. And we haven't totally talked about how we're going to distribute that yet, but we'll have more to share in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, check us out on Twitch.
Well, it's up for the patrons. They can watch the archived live streams there. We have a link available.
They can, but
The $3 and $5 tier?
yes, they can currently do that. I kind of want to put the shows out for free on YouTube after a certain period of time, so maybe that'll be an exclusive period that they'll have to watch the show. But we'll talk about that offline.
Hey, but really quick, while we're talking about Twitch, just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that chatted with us this morning here. Want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are awesome. We love talking about video games, and we couldn't do this without you guys listening in. So, lots of love to y'all. So,
and thanks for joining
in
on the conversation as well. I mean, that's what we want. We want to have a conversation. We want you to be part of that conversation. So, if you're listening to this, it's free. Go to Twitch. We try to do it every Sunday at 10. That could be flexible, but get on Twitch. It's free. Jump in and hang out with us and shoot the shit. Send us your comments and questions. All right. You can also visit our website, superjoystickradio.com, for all of our social media links. You can also join our Discord channel on there. Shout out right now, too, to all the awesome Discord server members that we have talking about video games all day long, every day. You guys should be here on Twitch also. So if you're listening and you're a Discord member, bring that party over here to Twitch on Sundays. And, become part of that conversation. We'd love to hear your feedback or topic ideas on any platform. Like a grade school birthday party, nobody leaves empty-handed. Here's your goodie bag for the week. Schmed, what do you have for the good people?
311 day is upon us, boys.
311 day. 11, 11.
21. And they're doing their live streams. They're continuing those. They're doing Transistor, their record Transistor, from top to bottom on March 11th. So check out 311 Transistor live stream if you want to get down with that reggae dub rock,
Nice.
Jam it out.
That's going to be awesome.
Fire it up.
Do you know how much it is?
I believe it's 10 or 15 per stream, or you can buy like a package that's
nice.
Maybe it's 20 per stream and then 60 for all 3 shows or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds.
There's a little discount maybe for the package, but
that sounds right. Love that package.
Package deals.
All right. Mine is I recently rediscovered Key and Peele on HBO Max, and I had seen clips from different shows before, and I always knew that they were funny, but I decided to just start watching it from the beginning, from the first episode, and it is hilarious. I am totally digging it.
I was like, bitch.
Yeah. No, they're just hilarious. They're really good comedic duo, and I like what they're doing. It's really, or what they have done, I suppose. It's old now, but enjoying it. All right, Justin, what do you got?
Tim Minchin, fantastic comedian. He's plays music, extraordinarily talented. Just check him out. He's played with orchestras across the world, but he's so funny. He just came out with his first true, I would say, like non-comedy album just recently, like last year, and it's marvelous. But any of his other stuff, again, he's been in business for a long time. Just look him up on YouTube. You'll fall in love with him. It's Tim Minchin.
Tim Minchin.
Check it out.
Sounds good.
Minchin.
All right. Well, that's all we've got for you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks to the Twitch people for tuning in. Discord, get your asses over here. We love all of you. Thanks for listening.
Later, y'all.
See you next week.
Don't forget to duck and weave. Duck and weave. Give me Spider-Man. Give me Spider-Man.